Hey, how you doing? This is Dan McDonald. I'm the Life Regenerator here on YouTube. I have a very special guest on the show today, and I appreciate you joining us. It means a lot to me. Lou has offered to do me a favor and share some really great stuff with you today. First of all, Lou, why don't you tell us, well, let me just say one thing. Lou is one of the most inspiring and beautiful human beings I've ever met. And I'm very honored to have him as a friend. He helps me in countless ways to really continue to accelerate my life. You've inspired me since the first day I met you, and I'll tell you a little story before we get started. Dave the Raw Trucker said, I met this dude, and then Lou Corona. Even before he said your name, it came out, you gotta meet this guy. And then I think it was maybe a few months later, I was in California. Who's this guy, Lou Corona? It just came out of the sky, just like the light from the Essene Gospel of Peace. Just like the light that visited you. I believe it could be the same source. But I knew that we were brothers from the very beginning. And Lou's helped me to grow a lot over the years with my understanding and balance and even relationships and health. And I really appreciate you, Lou. So I wanted to share with you some of just Lou Corona as a person. We'll only have a little bit of time here today to share. But Lou, why don't you give us the real short version of your story, how you got into raw foods, healing, and ended up just really exploding with the divine connection to be able to help people in so many different ways.
I look forward to doing that with you here in a moment, but I was just smiling when you were saying how I've been helpful to you and inspiring to you. Well, I want you to know when I first met you, I didn't even know what YouTube was, and you've been helping me a lot too to understand what it actually is and how it works, because I lived off the land for many years. I never really got into the computer world. I barely still even know it today. But this time I do know what YouTube is, so I know that whoever listens to this, more than anything, may you be left inspired as well as I have when I learned about these things. So in a nutshell, a short version was 41 years ago when I was 21, 1973, I was at my deathbed, and at that time I was suffering a great deal. I had a big tumor, I had severe acne, chronic asthma, arthritis. I was going to the bathroom once every 3 weeks. But in this near-death experience I went through, when I completely surrendered and just seeked for help, I was given the knowledge, and when I was embraced by this light that you talk about and saw the presence, I was given knowledge of these 4 principles, but I didn't understand it when I woke up the next day how to apply them. And then I got some guidance around that. I learned them, I did them, and within 6 months everything disappeared. And ever since then I've been practicing the 4 principles, which is the foundation.
And everyone that's new to this show should know that we actually did some videos, very profound videos,
a couple years back,
2 years ago. And all you have to do is type into the YouTube search bar 4 principles, and you'll get 1, 2, 3, and 4. Reiterate just what those are real quick without going into them. But
okay.
Just tell us what the principles are.
The first principle is about cellular communication. And when you understand that we're made up of trillions of cells that make up our bodies, so every cell responds to exactly how we think, how we feel. They respond to what we do, our intentions. They respond to how we eat and drink and what we do with our lives. They respond constantly, negatively or positively. And so when I learned the power of communication and the power of words, I began to start thinking more powerfully. I began to start learning the distinction between empowering thoughts and disempowering thoughts and words and what have you. I started learning how to communicate more powerfully with my Maker and more powerfully in my own way of thinking, also more powerfully in the way I communicated with others in a more empowering way, in a more edifying way. And so there's more to it, but as I begin...
That's number 1. What's number 2?
I just want to say one last thing about the first principle is that when I was given the instructions to love and to forgive and to accept and to anoint everybody in my past that ever hurt me or took from me or offended me in any way, and all the violations I experienced my first 10 years of my life, I didn't know how to do that, but I learned. And so that's related to the first principle about communication. Power of forgiveness, power of loving and forgiving and accepting and loving everyone unconditionally.
What's number 2 principle?
Number 2 is related to the cellular environment. It's related to incorporating the elements, embracing the sun, breathing the air, breathing slow and deep, drinking the good, pure, alkaline structured water, and drinking plenty of it to replenish you and flush you and regulate you, and also getting grounded. You know, so this is something that's missing for many.
Yeah.
You know,
too much concrete, too many metal buildings.
Right, and then
fluorescent lights.
Right. So we need to look at that, and then and it's very powerful because when I really realized the power in the second principle is when I did a 40-day water fast in the wilderness, and when I experienced the energy just from the elements alone, it was very, very empowering. It was the most powerful experience I ever went through in my life, and if I say too much more about this part, I'll begin to start having tears come out of my eyes, out of joy and out of gratitude for what I embraced and learned.
Hold together, Lou.
I'm doing my best. And then the third principle, it was about cellular communication. It's about, forgive me, I meant to say cellular exercise.
Yeah.
That's only because I want to go back to cellular communication because it's so powerful. But the third principle is really about cellular exercise. How do you stimulate the lymphatic system? How do you oscillate every cell in your body so that you can detoxify and release the toxins from your body, the waste byproducts from your body?
Amen.
That's why rebounding is very powerful. That's why breath work is powerful. That's why doing hot sweating, you know, saunas or whatever, detox bathing, and going to cold water back and forth.
Hot and cold therapy.
Hot, cold therapy
Nice.
is very good to stimulate the lymphatic system. That's why doing lymph draining and body work is very helpful to stimulate the lymphatic system. That's why if a person even swims nonstop for 20 minutes to 30 minutes will help stimulate the lymphatic system in a very powerful way. So these various things you can do to stimulate the lymph is a really vital thing to do. And everybody that I've worked with by hundreds of thousands now over the years in different parts of the world, every time I find somebody that is that has an illness or excess weight or whatever is going on with them, their lymphatic system is sluggish or plugged up. And we need to move that lymph and get it moving. So that's a really powerful principle we need to incorporate on a daily basis, at least 20 minutes a day. So the third principle, the fourth principle is about cellular food. How do you feed your body from a cellular perspective? You know, cellular nutrition is a really thing that most people miss out on. Most people don't know how to feed their body from a cellular perspective, on a cellular level. And how it works is we need to eat the food that we eat, we need to digest it and break it down completely. Oh, if you will, go in the freezer and get that.
Oh yeah, before we forget again.
Right.
Right on, good call, bro.
We're gonna do a little demonstration for you.
Oatmeal ice cream.
Yeah, right. We're gonna do a little demonstration for you, just so you can see it for yourself. But
so number 4, did you wrap that?
I'm working on it.
Cool.
So basically, the fourth principle is what we're going to talk about here. Emphasize on it because it's really one of the principles that is lacking in most people's lives today. Most people are still cooking their food, and they think it's actually healthy and good for you. But you know, scientifically, they've proven without a shadow of a doubt that every time you eat cooked food, the body has to use more of its own enzymes to digest the food, more than you remanufacture within the body, which causes the enzyme depletion to take place. So people do become enzyme deficient in given time as they're consuming cooked food.
Diabetes, obesity.
So when your body becomes enzyme deficient, that means no longer are you capable of digesting all your proteins, carbs, and fats to the micro level, to micronutrients, like amino acids, glucose, and fatty acids. And unfortunately, you end up with partial digestion. So that means some of the proteins, carbohydrates, and fats get digested into micronutrients, like I just said, but some of the proteins, carbs, and fats don't get digested. And anytime you have any accumulation of undigested proteins, carbs, and fats, they putrefy, ferment, and acidify within the body. And when that happens, it accumulates in the intestinal tract, and it gets into the blood, it gets into the tissues, it gets into the brain, it gets into organs and glands and what have you. This accumulation attracts parasites, viruses, bacteria, and yeast.
Does it create inflammation as well?
Of course. Of course. That's why people end up with inflammation.
A lot of people have inflammation.
That's why they have high blood pressure. That's why they have cholesterol issues. That's why they have heart attacks. That's why they have diabetes and arthritis and cancers,
waste
different forms of cancer.
Is fermenting in their body?
Yes.
And all causing every kind of ill health you can imagine.
This is a root, I'm not going to say it's the ultimate root cause, but from a physical plane, it's one of the most major root causes to why people suffer, because they have all this undigested material going inside them and not all coming out. They're not processing their food properly. Ideal situation is as you master the art of digesting everything that you eat, so you can actually break it down into micronutrients, so you can actually absorb it. So ideally you want to pre-digest your food in your stomach before it goes into the small intestinal tract, which is about 20 feet long. And inside the small intestinal tract, you have these little things called villi. So those little villi, those little finger-like things on the inner wall of the intestinal tract, is what absorbs these micronutrients, takes it into the blood, into the cells. As it's passing through every section of that tube, called your small intestinal tract, it feeds every section of your body. The thing is, as this food passes through and as it's absorbing, the waste byproduct goes into the colon. And this is where the waste comes out of the body, through the colon and out the rectum, right? The thing is that the ideal situation is you digest good, you pre-digest it in your stomach, you absorb it in your intestinal tract, and then you eliminate the waste and run clean and efficient. Because what you're trying to do with the food you eat is not only break it down, but to absorb it, metabolize it, and convert it into energy. Muscle, hair, skin, bones. Manufacture the hormones and the metabolic enzymes in your body, so you can maintain what they call cellular integrity. Eliminate the waste, run clean and efficient. That's the ideal situation. But unfortunately, back in the day, when I was going to the bathroom once every 3 weeks, I learned a big lesson out of that. Yes, I got to the point where I became so toxic, and I ended up with the acne and the allergies and rash and a tumor, asthma and arthritis. This is all toxic related, right? Yes, I was full of parasites and bacteria and yeast and all those things. But when I learned the lesson about how to think more powerfully, how to connect more powerfully, and how to communicate in a more powerful way, and as I got into the elements, as I got into how to stimulate the lymphatic system, how to drink the water and do the breath work and all. And as I start eating live foods, fresh juices, taking the seeds and soaking, germinating them, and eating enzyme-activated rich foods like that, all plant-based, I found out I don't have to kill animals or kill my food to live. I learned how to live in a very powerful, amazing way. So for me to feel, or to, first of all, to overcome all the diseases in 6 months and never come back in 41 years, and for me to feel the way I feel at 62 years of age, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. It's been an incredible journey for me. But in the last 25 years, I've been all over the world teaching, training, showing people how to do these things, and all the conditions they have are going away because of it. So I'm very, very pleased and thankful to be a part of the journey of empowering people like yourself. That's why I'm here, Dan, because you inspired me when you said you read this little book and you crossed over and you started taking on these teachings yourself. And you've been doing the best you can and stumbling along the way, doing better and better and better, evolving with it. And now you've even gotten better and gotten stronger. And it's a really wonderful thing to see happen to somebody, because that's why we're doing this, to help as many people as we can to catch on to a very powerful way of living so they can be free. So people don't have to suffer like you have, like I have, like many people have.
And those right around us, even in our close proximity.
So our hearts go out to you and everyone. So if you can get a sense and a feel of where we're coming from, then listen carefully what we're saying and do your best to embrace these things so you can be free and live a very powerful, vibrant, wholesome life, a whole complete life. Because that's what the 4 principles are about. They're the foundation. That's why I'm very thankful Recently, somebody came into my life and made it possible to be able to form a company and be the guardian of that company after 40 years of just dreaming about it, envisioning it, and praying for it. That one day it could be a company that could be created and put together in such a way so it could help these 4 principles become available to the rest of the world. So everybody has access to it, so they understand what they are, what they do, and how to implement them into their lives so they can have an incredible life for themselves. If people were just to do just that one thing, follow the 4 principles, learn them and do them and apply them, they would have a great life. Now, if they want to do something to, you might say, accelerate the cleansing healing process, or maybe make up for lost time, for all the enzymes they've been using up over the years, then it would be a good idea for them to take something like Life-Zyme. Life-Zyme, it comes in a bag, or it comes in a bottle, a 500 cap bottle or a 1,000 cap bag, or it comes in powder form, however. But these powerful, superior, multiple digestive enzymes called Life-Zyme is spelled L-I-Y-F, which is an acronym that means life in your food. We're trying to help people understand we need to put life in the food. We're eating so much cooked dead food, and little do we know we're robbing from ourselves more than we make in return, and we're causing ourselves to become enzyme deficient, which causes poor digestion, poor assimilation, poor utilization, poor elimination. Everybody who has any sickness or disease, they all have that going on. So to help make up for that, you can do something like this. First and foremost, if you're going to take something outside of the 4 principles, see, gosh, over 35 years ago, I knew somebody really well that was dying from cancer, skin and bones, and they gave him up to die. And he refused to go to the hospital. He prayed about it, and he didn't go to the hospital. Instead of doing that, he ended up praying about it, and somehow he found out about enzymes and enzyme therapy. So he took these plant-based, medical-grade, full-spectrum, highly active enzymes, and within 5 months, his cancer was gone, his weight came back, and he went on with a good life. He's still alive today after 35 years. And so what I did, I was very inspired by that, so I studied it, and I learned it, and I became an expert at it. And I also studied the soil across North America and found out that our soil, organic soil, even if you eat 100% raw food, is running enzyme immunodeficient in a big way. I won't even give you the percentages. Study it for yourself, research it for yourself, but it's over 50% enzyme immunodeficiencies. It's not doing very well. And I've talked to many organic farmers all over the country, and what I find is they all say the same thing. They're not doing enough composting for the soil to feed the soil. They're not doing the rotating of the crops properly, and they're not resting the soil like it's supposed to happen. And so they know that, and they're aware. Our food today, organic food today, even if you eat 100% organic live foods and don't cook anything, like I'm doing for years and years and years, plant-based, it's enzyme immunodeficient. So when I saw my friend wipe out cancer in 5 months, got my attention, I studied it, I learned it, I read volumes of books on it, and then became an expert at it. And after years and years of experience and working with experts in the field, we came up with something superior next to none. These are like the best, highest quality enzymes, the broadest spectrum, the highest activity with no fillers, and we're using whole food cofactors, which is incredible. And anyway, and they're also for a lot lesser than anywhere in the world. And the name of the company is called Puradyme. Puradyme is P as in Paul, U-R-A, D as in David, Y-M-E. Puradyme. And if you want to get a hold of these little amazing jewels, you call 855-787-5493. And
that's the number of Puradyme. Huh?
For Puradyme, yeah.
Cool. And I'll put a link down below too, so you can go to the website and check it out.
Now watch this. I just want you to see the effect and the efficacy of these enzymes. So here's some oatmeal cereal. We just cooked it up, put it in here, and you can see it's pretty sticky, pretty gooey. It's going to stay there for a while. And so if we took this oatmeal that we just cooked up and just took it out with our hand and just threw it into the ceiling, it would stay there for 200 years.
200? 300?
300, 400, 500,
Eternal.
1,000. Yeah, it would just stay there like glue. Really true story. So remember, anytime you eat cooked food from now on, you just need to know, you have to ask yourself the question, if I eat cooked food, is it going to serve me? Is it going to love me back? Some people don't realize this, but there's certain foods you eat that will kill you. And they kill you slowly. And before you know it, you're gone. But there's some foods that will cleanse you and heal you and maintain integrity and keep you alive and keep you well and keep you healthy. And that's what we're trying to convey to people. So if you're going to eat cooked food, the next best thing you can do is at least take some powerful enzymes. The reason I don't get the ones from the health food stores or other companies is because these have been made to be the best of the highest quality, the broadest spectrum, and no synthetics, using whole food cofactors with no fillers. The best of the highest.
You are the president of Pyridine.
The Guardian, that's why I'm kind of excited right now about Pyridine, because I get to be the guardian. I get to protect the integrity and the quality of it.
Enzyme companies water down their stuff for profit. And so you love the enzymes so much that doing that would be stupid. Because you take these, why would you water down something you want to use?
Well, it's not only for my reason, but it's also for the sake of everyone else. We want to offer the best for the lowest cost, make it as affordable as possible. And the philosophy of Pyridine is to offer the best for the lowest cost and make have a what do you call it, a small profit margin.
Yeah.
All of them out there have a high profit margin, lower quality and higher cost.
It's too bad we don't have time for them to really understand what Pyridine really is all about. But I asked Lou today if he would educate my viewers on these things. I've had these around and I've been using them for 3 months since they were first launched.
Mm-hmm.
But I just kept back and didn't share anything with anyone because I wanted Lou to do it, because nobody knows these things here that you've been using all these for all these years, 25 years.
Right. But in a nutshell, what is Pyridine? What does it stand for? What's the vision of Pyridine? The vision is this, that they carry the foundation, that they're known, Pyridine is known for the foundation of life itself by these 4 principles. They will be known, Pyridine will be known for the 4 principles, because that's the foundation of life itself. So if you could just apply the 4 principles, you're going to have a great life. And we want to be a stand for that and get that out to the rest of the world. Even if they never take an enzyme or anything, just live by the 4 principles. It's free. You can just learn it and do it and apply it like we're doing. Now, but if you want to, the only reason I still take enzymes myself is when I lived off the land on rich soil, I didn't have to take enzymes. But when you eat organic food that comes from health food stores, farmers markets, they're enzyme deficient and mineral deficient. So watch this. This is just oatmeal cereal. I'm going to take a very powerful enzyme called lysozyme, and I'm going to put it in the container here. And so as I mix the oatmeal together, all within a
cup, so you can,
yeah, that'd be perfect. But as I mix the oatmeal and the enzymes together, lysozyme, these are the ones you generally take with your meals before you eat. And generally people take around 4 or 5 with each meal before they eat.
I like to use them when I'm just on a juice fast, just to help to accelerate the blood and the breaking down of any excess.
If you take them on an empty stomach, then they're going to help clean, detoxify the body. It's going to help you break down the excess undigested proteins, carbs, and fats trapped in the body that never got digested from the past accumulation.
It's hard to digest the cooked foods, the fried fats, the cooked carbohydrates. It all gets so sticky. Mm-hmm. Is that why people have the big belly?
Right.
So this is Lysozyme. And don't you guys have something that is more of the therapeutic?
Yes.
Which we don't have that today because Sophia took them all.
That's
Which is good, right? That's okay, no problem.
Well,
more.
You can see that we took the lysozyme, the multiple digestive enzymes people take with their meals. You can see how the oatmeal just liquefied and poured into the container. Well,
so it just broke down.
It broke it down.
Cellulose, the gluten,
the proteins, carbs, and fats. It just broke it down into micronutrients. And this is the thing. You want your food to be pre-digested like this before it goes into the intestinal tract. So that way you can absorb it, metabolize it, convert it into energy, muscle, hair, skin, and bones. And then by the time it gets down to the other end, you have a soft, easy elimination with a faint odor, if any. But what's happening with most people is that when they go to eat food, they chew it, they inhale it, and then it goes into the stomach. They only partially digest it, and then they process what they process, but they don't process all of it. They don't utilize all of it. And then some of it gets out, but not all of it gets out. Some of it gets into their system. And this undigested material that I'm talking about is the culprit. Because when it goes undigested and accumulates in the body, not only through the intestinal tract, but it gets in the blood, it gets into the cells, it gets into organs and glands in your brain and all that. Why do you think people have fat plaquing, mineral plaquing, protein plaquing, what are the plaquing, mucoid plaquing? Why do you think that builds up and accumulates in the system? Because of this fact. And so the enzymes, if you take them with the meals, it's going to help you enhance the ability to digest your food better so you can assimilate, metabolize, and eliminate, run more efficient. Because most people that don't take enzymes and they're eating cooked food, through time, they have this accumulation of undigested food. So when they go to the bathroom, some of them have to wait. Some of them have TVs and radios and stereo systems. Some people have books and magazines because I've been into thousands of homes, I've seen it. And some people don't have any of that. Some people just sit there and wait and pray and hope that they can go to the bathroom. We have a multi-billion-dollar industry today called the laxative industry. It exists because people are taking these laxatives, trying to get them to cut loose and eliminate this waste because they can't digest, they can't eliminate. So they take something harsh to get them to go and highly stimulate them, which weakens their system in time. It makes them lazy inside. These are simple. This is something that's foundational. This is something that we're just putting back into the food that was cooked out of the food. So because the enzymes are the answer to help you digest and assimilate and metabolize to begin with.
Does the enzymes help you to sort of save on your own metabolic enzymes?
Yes, yes. It helps you to. It actually helps you put the enzymes back in the food and also help you digest better and assimilate better and takes the stress off the pancreas. So your body can actually manufacture metabolic enzymes that runs your whole body.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because metabolic enzymes are a different form of enzymes.
If you can't get them raw, then get them on the enzymes. If you can get them raw, you've been taking enzymes because you might as well just keep...
Look, if you're living off the land, you're living off rich soil, and you're living the good life, the ultimate life, then you don't need to take enzymes with your meals. But if you're living in a city and if you're living on raw organic foods even from the health food stores and for farmers markets, that soil that those foods come from are enzyme and mineral deficient. I've already tested it. I've already done my homework. And if you guys don't know that, well, go and do it yourself then. Research it. Know what you got going on. If you're living in the tropics and you're living on rich soil, enjoy the fruits and vegetables and do fine. But if you're going to eat nuts and seeds, then I would use the next thing. Life Biotic. This is the friendly...
This is what was on the coconut almond yogurt recipes.
Yeah, Life Biotic is L-I-Y-F. That means life in your food. Life Biotic. It comes in powder form, and it's very powerful because this is a strain of friendly bacteria that are very, very powerful. Whatever I had before was about 10 billion friendly microorganisms per teaspoon. This one here is 40 billion. It's 4 times stronger and a lot lesser in cost. And that's why it's going to be very powerful for you guys because it become one of your best friends. Because what I do with this, I like to take and make almond coconut yogurt is my favorite one. I make all kinds of yogurts and seeds and nuts and all that. But this is what I use to start it. This is a perfect, amazing starter, Life Biotic. Because you just take a teaspoon, put in the blender, put maybe a cup of pre-sprouted almonds with some coconut mead, coconut water.
Hey,
yeah.
We're going to start over with the Life Biotic because we're going to have to welcome everyone back for a part 2.
Oh, okay.
Shooting for one part series, but as you can tell, Lou loves to share as much or more than I do. So I've got about 10 seconds here to just let you know that I'm just going to knock the camera up again, fire it back up, and we'll pick right up on Life Biotic, because I want to make sure you also go over the Pura Cleanse here, which is one of my favorite things.
It's very powerful, that's true.
Join us for part 2. Thank you very much. And
love you guys.
We will talk in a second. Welcome back to part 2 with Lou Corona, just sharing some great stuff to get you inspired and keep you healthy. So I'm going to let you pick right back up. Let's start over with the Life Biotic. We got right into the middle of that. What is the Life Biotic, and how can we use it to enhance the quality of our life?
Well, Pure Dem has 2 probiotics. One's called Life Biotic. For me, it's a very powerful one because this is a proteolytic probiotic. That means it breaks down proteins. It breaks down putrefied protein in the system. It helps you reestablish your intestinal flora, which is an army of friendly bacteria in your intestinal tract. These are your internal healers right here, friendly bacteria. I know a lot of people avoid them and they kind of front against them and they don't advocate them at all. But I have to tell you this, because I've been around the block. I've seen thousands and thousands of people. I've helped hundreds of thousands of people wipe out every condition you can think of. So it's been really amazing, right, for me to see all this. But these people who say, don't take probiotics, don't take enzymes, you know, I have a dear friend of mine, colleague, that knows somebody right now that specializes in live blood analysis, right? I wouldn't even mention any names. But we're exactly the same age. And she said, after she saw my blood, and she saw me, and saw his blood, and saw himself, and put us together, compared them together, she thought I was many years younger than himself, and we're exactly the same age. And she thought, you know what? This guy does not advocate, he's even a doctor. He says, do not take enzymes, do not take probiotics, you know, doesn't advocate them. And most of his hair is gone. He's aged fast. He's lost his strength and his power. And now he's pudgy. And so I look at that and I go, results is what talks. So when she saw that I still have my hair and my skin is tight and firm and never had plastic surgery, never had dyed hair or anything like that, because I heard that there's people saying that nowadays. There's people saying that I dyed my hair and I have plastic surgery and all these different things. It's not even true. Not even true at all. I've never had any of those things done. And if I ever do have any of those things done, I will tell you so, you know, but that's not the case. But anyway, here's the thing. The probiotics, Life Biotics, I like to use it a couple different ways. I like to make yogurts out of seeds and nuts. My favorite one is still the almond coconut yogurt. Almonds are the king of the nuts. I like to soak them for 24 hours, rinse them several times during that time, and then I like to put maybe a cup and a half of those almonds with a cup and a half of coconut meat, and I'll put a little coconut water, a teaspoon of this. I do like to use Life Essentials. It's a whole food protein complex. It's all raw. It's all plant-based. It's got a lot of tocotrienols, tocopherols, which is very rich in vitamin E, which is great for the skin, great for the hair, great for the heart. It's amazing stuff. I really like the way.
Well, I mean, it's just great. It tastes great too.
It does.
The first one you sent me, I ate half the bottle with the spoon.
Yeah, Sophia likes it too, I noticed.
Oh Lord,
and the
my
kids.
My kids tear it up.
I mean, I know, but I mean, people put it in smoothies and dressings and soups and all that, but I like to put this with my yogurt mix to enhance the nutritional value. Yes. But I put a teaspoon of this to start it, to start the culturization process. So I make yogurts out of almond coconut, and I blend it all up. I let it sit for about maybe 5 or 6 hours, and it turns into yogurt. In fact, last night a whole bunch of people were eating it and going, oh my gosh, this is so good, right? They loved it. You can make smoothies, you can make dressings, you can make soups.
We've been making a batch like this every day. We wake up in the morning and it's gone. All the girls are...
I saw it with my own eyes because I was here. Well, last night we had a big batch, and then I got up and most of it was all gone.
They put it on fruit, they'll put it on dressings. I don't know, they probably put it on chocolate somehow when I'm not looking. Right. Figure out a way to get the chocolate in there somehow.
Another reason why I like to take Life Biotics, I like to take a nice big teaspoon of this right before I go to bed. I put it right in my mouth with a little bit of water. I swish it. Great for the gums. You'll never have gum infection, gum diseases. And then you swallow it.
I do that every night.
You swallow it before you go to bed, and then it goes in your tract, and it just culturizes the whole system. It keeps it nice and friendly and healthy. And here's the interesting thing. Remember when I said earlier I used to go to the bathroom once every 3 weeks? Well, I've been taking enzymes, and I do use herbs and all that kind of thing too. But eating raw living foods, cultured foods, fresh juices, and I lived the good life, and I've been living a great life for many years. But I have to tell you, I really enjoy the friendly bacteria. It's a nice, convenient way to keep my flora nice and healthy. When you have good flora going on, you have great energy, you feel energetic, and you go far without tiring. You never get sick, and you feel amazing.
Healthy bacteria.
Healthy bacteria in your intestinal tract. And when you go to the bathroom, it's easy. It has form, no smell or hardly any smell. It's like that. But when I was eating cooked food, processed food, and not taking enzymes, when I went to eliminate, it was more like difficult. I struggled. And then when I finally released, it smelled pretty bad, and it was horrific. And I've heard many people say things like, when they go to the bathroom after their husband left or their wife left the bathroom, they say, "Oh my goodness, what died?" and things like that. So if your stools are strong and powerful and wicked and evil, then you have to know you need some probiotics. Get some Life Biotics, because these are the best for the least cost in the world, right here. Now, the other probiotic that they have, the Pyridime has, is called Pura Life. And the life part is spelled L-I-Y-F, life in your food, once again. But Pura Life, it's this with a very powerful proteolytic enzyme combined with it. So it's more therapeutic. So people take that right before they go to bed.
That one has more strains in it?
No, it actually has the same strains, but it's been enhanced with proteolytic enzymes to make it even more powerful in the proteolytic ability, because it goes after putrefaction, which gets rid of inflammation, okay? And a lot of people have inflammation. To give you an idea, I had a lady that had inflammation so bad, she's in so much pain for 20 years. So I gave her 20 in the morning, 20 at night of the Pure Life. That's why it has a 500 cap bottle available. And I gave her about 10 enzymes with each meal, Lysozymes, and she also had the Life Essentials, all raw living cultured foods. We worked on her body, releasing blockages, showed her how to do detox bathing, and got on the rebounder to stimulate her lymph, showed her how to do all this stuff. Anyway, 10 days later, pain's gone, feels great, and she's on a good life, So when you learn how to use these things, it really helps. Now, you were talking earlier about an enzyme you can take between the meals on an empty stomach. It's called Pyrazyme. Pyrazyme is a super highly concentrated enzyme that people use therapeutically between the meals on an empty stomach. So people generally take, they start off with three times a day between the meals on an empty stomach. An empty stomach means an hour or more before meals or 2 hours or more after meals. So they start off with three times a day, and they just do that. And then they step it up a little bit at a time. They work it up to 5 3 times a day, and eventually you can even go up to 10 3 times a day until your conditions are gone. So here's the purpose. Pyrazyme goes into the system on an empty stomach, and it goes into your bloodstream. So it works systemically within your body, internally inside your body. So these little enzymes go in there, these strong, powerful, highly active enzymes go inside your system, and it actually helps you to digest the undigested proteins, carbs, and fats trapped in your body. It also goes after mucoid plaquing, protein plaquing, fat plaquing, and mineral plaquing. It actually helps break it down, like you saw that oatmeal demonstration. So people that have plaquing in their...
thinner and thinner.
Yeah, pour it from one glass to another, see.
So, and as the enzymes work, it gets thinner and thinner, so now it's much more watery than it was.
So when people do this for a month or 2 or 3 or 4, depends on what they need, how far off they are, it will help them digest this undigested material that's been accumulating through time due to an enzyme deficiency, you see. So when Dr. Edward Howell documented that the longest living people in the world, living 120 plus years, live on enzyme-rich food, plant-based, right? Now people always ask me that question. They always ask me this question. Can you live on raw living foods, cultured foods, live this lifestyle and get away with it and still be healthy, still be strong, still be powerful? And and I go, well, the gorilla does. That's what the gorilla does. The gorilla eats a lot of greens, fruits, seeds, and bamboo, and that's it. And doesn't cook anything, doesn't even go to the gym and work out. And yet it's 700 pounds of muscle. That's why I always like to do this for people so they can see the efficacy, the actual visual demonstration of a physical something that can kind of give them an idea. Because a guy like myself, for the last 43 years, since high school, I basically do 20 minutes of stretching, breathing, little rebounding, occasionally swimming when I can for 20 minutes. But for a guy that just does that and just lives a simple lifestyle of these 4 principles and pops a few enzymes, I like taking these enzymes with my meals personally. I do take Life Biotic, and I do put Life Essentials in my yogurts when I make my yogurts. There's one more thing that the Paradigm has. It's called Pura Cleanse. Pura Cleanse. In fact, if you get a little bit of orange juice, remember that?
I'll take some too.
Yeah, get a tablespoon too. But Pura Cleanse, it's a concoction of fibers and corn silk and herbs that help clean, detoxify, and tone the intestinal tract. And it works. So I had a guy recently that was going to the bathroom like once a week. He started taking a tablespoon of this every morning with his enzymes, with his meals, and a little teaspoon of the probiotics right before he goes to bed. A week later, now he's going twice a day, every day. And it's been happening for him. So, but Pure Cleanse is one of those things that helped him, because between, this is something you can take every day. It's not like a harsh laxative or anything like that. It's more of an herbal, fibery formulation that helps clean, detoxify, and tone the intestinal tract. So basically what I'm going to do is, oh, we need the lids.
Okay, cool.
I'm just going to put a tablespoon in each one.
Yeah, you got to recommend the Pure Cleanse for people with the constipation. I mean, the thing about Pure Cleanse is, like, I like to just take a bite of it. I like the way it tastes. I think for me it's strange. I don't know, I haven't really told you this, but Pure Cleanse is kind of my favorite thing. Just because, well, I mean, I saw it work. One day I took 3 tablespoons just to see, you know, how I always am experimenting with stuff. Let me just recommend, keep it at the recommended 1, because there was a major blowout. But that was my way of knowing that, oh, okay, this stuff really works.
It does work.
Like,
it does
for
work.
2 days, it was just flooding out of me. So, but when I went back to just 1, it just was a nice. You can feel it kind of cleansing your GI tract.
Yeah, and people need that. A lot of people. We're talking about like millions and millions of people need to do this every morning for themselves. Just shake it up. Yeah, it's got like a purple color, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna knock that.
There was a guy that spent years and years out in the wilderness. He was like a master herbalist, and he actually figured out the best synergistic way to put this concoction together to help people clean, detoxify, and tone the bowels. And by the way, in the morning when you do this, you don't take it with enzymes, you don't take it with probiotics.
Oh, really?
At all. You take it straight up by itself and take about 45 minutes to let it do its job. And then you can take enzymes and eat food and your smoothies or whatever you're going to do.
Well, see, I'm getting educated too, because I didn't know that. Now, why is that, Lou?
Because those enzymes will actually break that down so to the point where it won't be as effective. Because this is gonna gel all in a few minutes, and it creates like a bulk agent.
And it's got like psyllium husk, right?
Yes, it does have that.
Yeah.
But it also has corn silk. It helps to break down the mucoid planking, helps to clean, detoxify,
and then
it expands, but also attracts toxins to itself and drives it out of the system.
Okay. So I should be just taking this by itself.
Straight up, right? First thing in the morning.
I just take these 2 at night. That's my system for these. Is like I just take a big spoonful of this and a spoonful of this, and that's my enzyme and probiotic therapy. And
that you can do at nighttime before you go to bed. That's fine.
Yeah, I didn't know though. Like right here with this.
Yeah, but that's the part that was missing.
There was a contraindication.
Right.
So I'm glad you told me. Well, am I
not going to hurt you any? It's not going to hurt you any.
Am I okay?
Of course you are, but it'll be more effective.
Life Regenerator dies on camera. A headline.
Right. Yeah, a habanero almost did that to me back in the day, I'll tell you that.
Oh man, yeah. Red hot habaneros.
Yeah. Tastes pretty good too. You can do it with straight water, orange juice.
I like to just take a spoonful. Am I doing it? Is there anything wrong with that? Or just take it, I like it in my mouth. every single one of these things, I like the way they're in my mouth.
Yeah.
And when I take them, you get that on feeling. You know how you one fig, you pick it, and it's like, okay, you know, you just intuitively know not to eat that fig. The other fig, you're like, yes.
Right.
All of these have the magnetic yes for my body. So
well, they are of the highest quality you can buy on the market right now. We made sure after 40 years of research and pulling the best of the best people to help put this together and years of experience. And it really is an honor to have the team all come together the way we have.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've got family involved, you know, very beautiful, wonderful, you know, spiritual.
So stoked to be able to
every
help
day,
you guys.
Every day before anything's made, we always sit there and pray before anything's made. Every single day before any of this is made, we always sit down and pray first, and then everything's made and everything's shipped and tracked and, you know, handled, you know. And this is just a temporary label right now.
Well, these are just the products. This isn't even Pyridine, what it's about. Like that's what I wanted to go over on this video, but you're always talking about the health, because you talk about the practical stuff. It happens to you, like I wanted to get to where you talked about like what Pyridine really is before we got into the products, but I like to let you just do your thing. But
yeah,
Pyridine is more than just some enzymes. This is just a side project to help people to accelerate, like you said.
Yeah.
But what is Pyridine? It came out of a vision. It's a lifelong dream. Well, tell us more.
You know, to really tell you where it was born, it's some of you may think it's a little weird when I say this, but I'm just gonna say it like it is.
They're still here, dude.
When I was 16, I was driving down the street in my motorcycle. I just got off work. It was night, and I had a premonition where I saw this vision of an accident. I saw a motorcycle accident in my head vividly. Like I saw it like just watching a TV kind of thing. Very clear in my head. And that motorcycle accident was with me in it. And I saw it. And this is before it even happened. And I never had a premonition like that. It was a very new thing to me. So then, right after it happened, I wondered, where'd that come from? How come I saw that? Like, I was questioning it, right? And right after that, I was told to pull over to the side of the road, park my motorcycle by the edge of the road, and just wait until the next green light proceeds before I go to that intersection. Because that's where I saw the accident, in that intersection. And I wondered about it, but I didn't listen. I kept going, and then when I got into the intersection, I got hit by this white car that I saw in my head from before. Anyway, I got shot 60 feet in the air. My left leg the bumper hit right here on my left leg. This much of my bone just exploded in my leg up here.
It just turned into powder?
Yeah, just like tiny little splinters. And so when they looked at the x-ray after the accident was over, the bones looked like this in my leg, like that. But here it was all busted up pieces. And there was nothing, just busted up little tiny pieces. Anyway, when I woke up from this accident, I remember this experience. And I realized that the way it came to me, and the way I sensed it and felt it, was that I just found myself apologizing. I just said, Heavenly Father, I'm sorry, I didn't listen. I realized now you were trying to show me this accident before it happened, to warn me, to protect me, but I didn't get it. And you even told me what to do to prevent it. I didn't do that either. I didn't listen to you at all. And I'm sorry that I didn't listen. And then I said, please forgive me. And then I said, the next time you ever tell me anything or show me anything, I'm all over it. I'm going to do anything you ever say to me from now on. And that was my first experience that I can remember being shown something and being warned about something. So if there's a message inside this conversation about it, anybody that's listening to this, I can only pray that you will listen carefully to that insightful part of you that sometimes speaks to us. Anyway.
Yeah. I want to say something real quick, and that's the best part of my life right now, is that I am listening to myself, not the people around me, Not my mentors that I love and respect, but what's coming from inside of me, and that is making my life take leaps, quantum leaps, because I am trusting that inner voice. No book, no religion, no teacher is going to be able to do that for you. And it's a very important part of my life. So
that's right.
I wanted to let you all know that develop a relationship with the inner voice.
I'm not here to tell you anything or teach you anything. Really, if I was going to have a message for you, is listen to that part of you inside you that guides you and protects you and watches over you. It's always been said the kingdom of heaven is within. It is. It's really there. You know, amen, it's there. Amen. So listen to that. And that what I'm saying, if you have the eyes to see what we're saying and the ears to hear what we're saying, and you get a sense and a feel that it's truthful and real for you, like it's been for us, then take it on for yourself and have a great life with it. But anyway, after this happened to me, I was taken to the hospital. They operated on my leg. They put this long titanium rod in my leg about this long from the hip to the knee. They took these bones, lined them up like that. The gap was about like that. And they said, the doctor said, if it heals, it's going to take about a year to fill in that gap, if it works. But if it doesn't work, we're going to have to amputate your leg. That's what the doctor said. 3 weeks later, I go in for an x-ray, and my leg was all healed. My bones and everything was all healed like brand new. The doctor said it was a miraculous healing. He said he's never seen anything like it. In fact, he even doubted that it was going to heal because it was so much of a big gap of no bone, right? But it healed up in 3 weeks, all healed up. And then later on, they took the pin out, that big rod, they took it out of my leg, and my leg's been fine ever since. So when people ask me if I'm a believer, I go, no, I'm not a believer. I'm a knower. I know that I know that you know, he exists, and it's the real deal. Oh yeah. This is a very, very spiritual thing for me. And Paradigm's all about that. That's why what you're about to hear is very, very powerful, because this is all beyond business, all beyond supplements. This whole thing that's driven inside me to do what we're about to do here. It's incredible. Because after my leg was all healed, I was given a dream every single night until I got it. Every night I saw a dream that I saw 7 healing centers in the world, 1 on each continent. They were all self-supporting, self-contained, self-reliant, you know, and they had big gardens, big orchards, and places there. And people came from all over the world to these places to cleanse, heal, and regenerate and get well for free. That's what I saw. And when people left these places, they gave back more than they would have ever been asked of to keep them going. It transformed. They're
going to get their life back from these teachings, which
right.
You've seen hundreds of thousands of people.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And the thing is that when people, because of that, because it was free for them to come there and get cleansed, healed, and regenerated, and learn and understand how to apply these 4 principles. And when they got well, they went home and they passed it on to their family and their friends, and it created a paradigm shift in consciousness in how people live today through these 4 principles. And that's what Paradigm's all about. So that's why Paradigm stands for the 4 principles, the foundational way of living. Because when they catch on to that, they're going to have a great life. But if you take on to these enzymes to help compensate for what's lacking in our food, lacking in us, because we've been robbing from ourselves and didn't even know it. But anyway, the thing is...
We got about 6 minutes to...
Oh, that's more than plenty.
Good.
So... The beauty of all of it is that as Paradigm is evolving, right, and I give you the guardian to protect and watch over it so nobody gets to change anything, manipulate anything.
Or animal products.
This is plant-based across the board, and it's going to stay plant-based.
And Paradigm will never have anything to do with.
That's the thing. I mean, thankfully, before other companies that I had worked with and had good enzymes, they would bring animal products in there, or they would do this and do that and change this, change that, and it was never hit home for me, home run for me, you know. So finally, when I got in a position where I could actually form a company, take it global, and make it so that it's the highest quality for the lowest cost with a low profit margin, and then on top of that, to be given the right to take 10% off the little profit that this company makes off to the side, so we can create raw gourmet restaurants and culinary schools to teach people how to make raw living cultured foods. Powerful juice bars and smoothie bars that are actually made with real food that's organic and the real thing. And And to be able to create healing centers, these 7 healing centers I was talking about, to donate and put money into it to make these healing centers and make them possible. So people can come for free for a few months and get cleansed, healed, and regenerated back to wellness for free. Now that is going to help create this paradigm shift in consciousness on how people live today through these 4 principles and the support systems in mind. Anyway, my 6 minutes are up, I think. So if anything I have to say, I just love it.
But Lou time is different.
Right. But I just know that everything that we're doing is out of love, out of appreciation and gratitude for everything that we got going on. It's such a grateful thing, you know. Oh, I was going to show that little physical demonstration.
Oh,
so
you want to do that?
I can see it right here.
For me, I don't know about this table.
That's all right.
What do you think? Are you going to do the pipe? Yeah, he's going to do. I mean the plank. There you go. You're right on camera. Perfect, bro. Right on camera. Smell some flowers. Fun stuff.
How much time we have left?
Oh, we got a couple minutes. How you gonna go?
Just enough to give them a taste.
Yeah.
My regular 7 minutes.
Cool. I do all the Lou Corona exercises too in the morning, and I keep strengthening myself, hanging from the pipe, working on the pipe.
Hey, should we show them this one?
I don't know if we can get the camera.
Oh.
We're gonna just keep it kind of just square, legit, easy, and effortless. But maybe tomorrow we can go play, do a few things.
Okay, that'd be great.
Maybe make a couple more videos.
Well, thank you for listening powerfully. I can tell anybody that listens this far into this conversation, I can only thank you for listening powerfully and attentively. And may you absorb the things we talked about, put into action, implement them into your life so you can have a great, powerful, amazing life as we were intended to have. Because that was really our birthright to begin with, really. You know, people suffer every day and they don't even know why. But after you learn these 4 principles, you'll begin to understand why we suffer and what you can do to resolve those issues that you might be dealing with. And so get acquainted, hook up, and enjoy the blessings and the results and have a great life. And more than that, do your best to pass it forward to your families and to your loved ones and those that you connect with so they can also have a great life. Because that's what's going to create that paradigm shift, right?
Great job, Lou.
All right, bro.
We're very blessed to have Lou Corona. He doesn't show up on videos much or at all. So we are very blessed. I guess that must say something about your faith in me. And I really appreciate that, bro. Because I am coming from, like you said, where we're coming from with this. For me, it's just, I'll say that I just love the truth, you know? And that's what I love. And I just want to share that to the best of my ability. That's why I have people like Lou Corona on the video channel here to inspire you, to show you that you can, you know, a lot of people, what's up with the raw food? Well, you know, 41 years, raw vegan, strongest, healthiest, most successful raw vegan I know. So I'm listening to what this guy has to say, I'm applying it, and then I'm teaching as many people as I can about that. So thank you for your time and attention today. We really appreciate a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed to these videos, that's a great thing to do. Also, this type of information would be really good to share on Facebook because this is a rare human being here. They don't come along that often. And if you show this video on Facebook and then they get to the point where he says, this guy's 62 and living strong and doesn't have the plastic surgery and the no gray hair. So I'm just saying that there's more to this raw food, taking care of yourself, getting healthy, remaining free of the drugs and the surgeries and the poisons, and living a good life, and living according to the laws of nature, which is all we've ever wanted to teach. Is simple stuff.
And remember, you really don't have to kill anything, your food or animals, to live a very healthy, powerful life. You
Not
really
for
don't.
13 years anyways. Maybe at 13 years and a half, you fall over.
Well, it's just that I've been doing this 41 years. I'm still here. I have strength. I have energy. I have vitality, youth. I mean, it's all there, and it's still working quite powerfully. My last mentor, I met him 17 years ago, and I thought he was 45 when I met him, maximum, and he was 75. And he was living this way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right on, man.
And he was much stronger. He could do this for half an hour.
Got about 30 seconds.
30
so
seconds.
We can just cut him a big smile and send him a huge blessings of love for you and your family. And thank you so much for just spending time with us. It's the joy of our life to share this stuff. We're both educators, and we both love teaching this. And we really hope that you have some type of transformation from the time that we spent today. So peace be with you.
Take care.